Okay, welcome back to the blue portion of my Rivals of Ixalan pre-release guide. The first card we have is Riverwise Auger, so it's 3 and a blue for a 2/2 merfolk wizard. When he enters the battlefield, you get to draw 3 cards, so super good ability. And then you get to put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order, and not just the cards that you drew, like different cards. Like let's say you have 2 lands that you're just holding as bluffs, and you draw 3 cards that are creatures and instant spells. And then you can put the 2 lands on top. So late game, this card's a great draw. Mid game, this is going to smooth out your draws, because even if you have to put 2 cards back, at least you can put them in specific orders. If you have Evolving Wilds in your deck, you can shuffle your deck. So I think this card's quite good. Probably like a C+, which I like any of the C+s, but I don't know too crazy on trying to predict everything. Okay, so next card we have is Slippery Scoundrel, which is 2 and a blue for a 2/2 human pirate. And it's got Ascend, and if you have Ascend, it has hexproof, and it can't be blocked. So if you have Ascend, this card's amazing. Like, this card's probably like, I don't know, like a B-, because, hexproof, 3 mana as a 2/2, and it can't be blocked. Like, that's really, really good evasion. You could put an aura on it, make it even better. Like, a lifelink aura would make this crazy. But if you don't have Ascend, it's only a 3 mana 2/2, which is not great at all. So I'd probably give this, but I think the fact that they designed the set with Ascend in mind, that it will be easier to get than I think. So I'll probably give this card, again, a C+. It could be worse depending on how hard Ascend is to get, but for now I'll just give it a C+, because I think Ascend is doable here. Next card we have is Expel from Orzaka. 1 and a blue for an instant speed, and it also has Ascend, and it reads, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So just even without Ascend, this card's very playable. Again, probably like a C+, because if you attack with like a 6/6 and they double block with a 2/3/3s, you can return one to their hand, and then you've got them there. Or you can protect your own guys from removal spells, stuff like that. Or if they have a planeswalker and you need to get through, you can return that to their hand because it's non-land permanent. But if you have the Sand, it puts it on top of their library instead, which is just amazing for 2 mana. So this card's probably teetering on the B- territory. Very good card. Next we have Curious Obsession, which is 1 blue mana for an enchantment aura, and it reads, enchanted creature gets +1/+1, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. And at the beginning of your end step is the downside to it. If you didn't attack with a creature this turn, you have to sacrifice only the enchantment. So I actually think this card is quite good. Probably going to go on a limb here and call this a B-, because if you put this on a flyer and it hits once, it's already replaced itself. You've got an extra 1 point of damage in, and it's not that hard to trigger, raid every turn, and the downside is you only sacrifice a 1 mana card, so it's not even that bad, especially if you've gotten 1 or 2 cards out of it. So I actually think this card's quite good, although the removal in the set being better makes it worse, because again, if they kill it in instant speed, it's not as good, so just be wary of that. Next card we have is Aquatic Incursion, which is 3 and a blue for an enchantment. And when it enters the battlefield, you get to create 2 1/1 blue merfolk with hexproof, which for 4 mana, it's not great. Hexproof's, a great ability and all, but only on 1/1s it doesn't make much of a difference, because, your opponent by turn 4 is going to have much bigger creatures than 1/1. And for 3 and a blue, you can have target merfolk can't be blocked this turn, which is a powerful ability, but I don't know how big the merfolk in this set are going to be, so for now I'm probably going to give this card a D+. Again, I wouldn't blame you if you put it in your deck, but it's not super powerful. So next card we have is Flood of Recollection. It's blue, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, and then you exile Flood of Recollection. So this card I would say build around. Wouldn't give necessarily just a random grade F through A, because it depends on your other instants and sorceries. If you've got like a really powerful instant and sorcery, like a rare that's a bomb rare, then you want to play Flood of Recollection, so you have 2 of that kind of, if you need to play it twice. So yeah, build around. Next one we have is Swoggle, counter target creature spell, and you get to create a colorless treasure artifact with, what a treasure does. It's 2 and a blue for an instant speed spell for counter a creature. This card for me is a B. I think it's really good. First of all, you can counter like just any massive dino for even if you counter a 4 mana spell, you're trading up there for mana, and you get to ramp yourself by 1 with the treasure. So I just think this card's really good. Next we have Secrets of the Golden City, which is 1 blue for a sorcery speed, and you draw 2 cards, and has Ascend. If you have Ascend, you get to draw 3 cards. So if the format's slow, this card could be, very powerful. I mean, drawing 3 cards in the late game is absolutely insane for 3 mana. But, you know, the last card set, Pirate's Prize, which, you know, wasn't super good. It was fine for fixing and getting some treasure, but it wasn't the best card. So for now, I'll probably just give this a flat C and, you know, see what the set plays out like. Next we have Silvergill Adept. 1 and a blue for 2/1 Merfolk. This is actually a reprint, so I probably shouldn't be talking about this one, but I'll talk about it anyway, just in case anybody doesn't know. At an additional cost to cast Silvergill Adept, you can reveal a Merfolk card from your hand or pay 3. So, you know, ideally you want to be playing a Merfolk, you don't want to be playing 5 mana for a 2/1. And when it enters the battlefield, you get to draw a card. So if you just reveal a Merfolk, this is a 2 mana, 2/1, and a draws card, which is a really, really good rate. So if you're pre-release, you know, if you open a lot of blue and another color, if you've got enough Merfolk, you know, you want to play this card. But if you're blue and this is your only Merfolk, I almost wouldn't play it because 5 mana for a 2/1 that draws a card is not a great deal. But, you know, it's much better in draft. But again, if you're Merfolk, especially if you're blue-green, definitely play this card. Oh, what rank did I give it? Oh yeah, so in Merfolk it's like a B, and then in general probably like a C+. Next card is Siren Reaver, so 3 and a blue for a 3/2 raid creature. Oh, it's flying as well. And it costs 1 less to play if you attack with a creature this turn, which I think is really easy to trigger, especially in blue where you have a lot of flyers or unblockable stuff, where, you know, raiding, as in attacking, is less of a downside than in other colors where you might have to send in a creature and he might die via blocker. I think this card's probably C+, maybe even a B-. I think that's really good. I mean, just if you just think of it as if you always have raid, it's 3 mana for a 3/2 flyer, which is really good rate. So yeah, I think C+ or B- for this one. Sailor Means. I'm not really going to talk about him because he was in the previous set. Next card is Cloaked Herald, which is 1 mana for a 1/1 Merfolk warrior, and it can't be blocked, so it's unblockable basically. This card, you know, I think depends on how, you know, how synergistic it goes with the green side of Merfolk, where +1/+1 counters are a thing. But for now, I'll probably just give this maybe a C-. It's a 1/1, it's super weak, so I can't give it a too high a grade. Next card is Water Knot, which is 1 blue, enchant creature, you know, you want to enchant your opponent's creature because it taps it down and it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So, you know, great against cards that are like, you know, 4/4 dinosaur, 5/5 dinosaur, or a big vampire or something like that. So it's just really good removal, but, you know, they can untap it with other cards, so I'll probably just give this C+, which usually I have removal out on Kara, but, you know, maybe there's a lot of untapped stuff that I don't know about. So next card we have is Sworn Guardian, pretty generic creature here, just 1 and a blue for a 1/3 Merfolk warrior, no abilities. You know, you can play this in your deck, it's fine, but it's not amazing, so I would just give this a D+. Next card is Spirewinder, which is 3 and a blue for a 2/3 flyer, and it's got a sand, and if you have a sand, it gets +1/+1. Another not super great card. If you have a sand, it's pretty solid for a 3/4 flyer for 4 mana. That's really good. And I guess I've been ranking cards of, like, assuming you're going to get the City's Blessing. So if you do have the City's Blessing, this card's probably, let's see, probably a C+. But if you don't, it's not that good. It was probably like a D+ because it was flying. So probably just a C for now. Next card we have Soul of the Rapids. 3 blue for a 3/2 flying elemental with hexproof. And it's at common, so it's good that it's at common because, you know, hexproof is a sweet ability. But the 2 toughness really hurts this because it can just trade with any 2/2 flyer, and then the hexproof is basically irrelevant. So I don't think this card's super great unless you're putting auras on it. I would just give this card like a C-. I'm actually not that impressed with it, even though it is hexproof. The next card is Kite Sail Corsair, which is 1 and a blue for a 2/1 sorry, he doesn't have flying, but he has wings in the picture. But it has flying as long as it's attacking, and I think that's actually really good. So I'll probably give this card again a C+, because when it's attacking, you know, you want to be attacking and it's going to be flying, so it's just really, really good. Next card is Crashing Tide, so it's 2 and a blue for a sorcery, and return target creature to its owner's hand, and you get a draw card. So, you know, you bounce their 4-man thing and you draw a card. So, you know, they're down a lot of tempo because their creature's back in their hand, and you get a draw card, it replaces itself. That's very good. But if you have a Merfolk, it has flash, which is just crazy. So I think this card's probably like a B, just because if you ever have a Merfolk, it's just insane. Really good card, definitely play it in your deck. Even if you don't have Merfolk, it's still solid. Next card we have is Deadeye Rig Hauler, which reminds me of, I think it's like Fathom Fleet Captain, the black card version of this, basically, from the previous set. This one here is 3 and a blue for 3/2 a pirate, which is, you know, not great. But if you get raid, when it enters the battlefield, if you attack with, or you may return target creature to its owner's hand. So with raid, that's a pretty powerful ability. But I don't know, I'm not too keen on it because, yeah, maybe with flyers that's good. I'll give it a C. I just can't. I don't know. Maybe it's a C+. I hate giving it C+, but it's probably a C+, depending on how well your blue X is attacking. Next card is Negate, which negates a classic. They're just putting in the set to keep it in the set for, you know, standard and whatever. This is a sideboard card if they have like a crazy enchantment or artifact that you can't, or a planeswalker that you can't deal with. You want to save that and bring Negate in. Next card is River Darter. So it's 2 and a blue for a Merfolk Warrior, 2/3, and it can't be blocked by dinosaurs. So just let's say you're playing a game and they don't have any dinosaurs. This card is going to be like a D. But if they do have a dinosaur, it probably goes up to a D+. So I'm just going to give this a D+. Last card in blue is Sea Legs. So it's 1 blue for Enchantment Aura. And you want to be either putting this on your creatures or your opponent's creatures because it has Flash, which is really good. Enchanted creature gets +0/+2 as long as it's a pirate. So that you can be used defensively on your pirate creatures. And otherwise it gets -2/-0. So that's going to be really good for blowing people out in combat. So I think that's a pretty sweet combat trick. And I'll probably give that a C+, which you probably hate by now. But anyway, let me know if, you know, you disagree with any of my, or maybe you agreed with everything, but I doubt it. But, you know, let me know which ones you disagree with, agree with, if you enjoyed it. And, you know, I hope you did enjoy it. And thanks for watching.